Do you ever get frustrated that you grabbed your best employee in a line position, whether they're a server, a cashier, a driver, a cook, I don't care what they were. But the fact is we thought they were a great person. They're a great employee. I want to make them a manager, and we talk them to becoming a manager, and the next thing you know, their ego explodes and now they're an arrogant bastard. Right? Does that not frustrate you? How would you like to make sure that you don't continue that terrible cycle? Worse yet, bring in somebody who has years and years of experience and think there's God's gift to the world when they walk into your business and you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to share that with you right now. Hello, this is David Scott Peters with therestaurantexpert.com, and I want to let you know right now, titles are for banks, right? VP of this, VP of that, who cares? What is my job? What I do defines who I am and what my relationship is to the business and its success. So I really don't care about titles, but the problem is we often talk a good employee into becoming a manager, tell them to take a step backwards to go forward. We take our best employee possible, they become arrogant, and the next thing you know, they're bad managers and we lose them. 6 months to a year, take our best employee, make them our worst, and they're gone. Let's stop that vicious cycle. In order to do that, what you need to start with is defining the roles. What does each person do? Let's take, for instance, a general manager, right? That's top dog. This is where all too often I see independent restaurants promoting somebody right to general manager and then they fail. And a lot of it is because you've not told them what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when. So let's start off by creating all the tasks that need to be done, whether it's hiring and training or managing cost of goods sold or keeping up with our human resource records. I've given you a whole list of what a GM would do for me. Now, with that said, let's call it inventories. It doesn't mean the general manager actually has to count, but the general manager will be held accountable and responsible for food costs, poor costs, that those inventories were done accurately. So it's his or her job to make sure those people are trained and they actually get it done and it's accurate. Well, it's one thing to say, okay, you're responsible for inventories. Let's say the general manager, you're a small store and it is their job to actually physically count the product on the shelves. Well, taking inventory means what? Just count stuff? Does it have to be accurate? Do I have to have all my current batch recipes on there? The right pricing and FIFO pricing? Do I have to have my invoices in? Or do I just count stuff and I satisfy you? Look, I count stuff. And you go, man, food cost is off and I can't get him to show up, and he counts it in the middle of the shift, or she doesn't even show up to get it done. Well, you failed to tell them what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done. It's important to say that you have to do inventories, but it's also important to say inventories must be counted at the close of business or before we open for business the next day. So let's call it Sunday. You must have it counted before you leave Sunday night. But before you can do that, during the week, every invoice that comes in, you need to make sure all the products are listed in Smart Systems Pro with the accurate, up-to-date pricing. If you've got a new product, you need to add it. If you've got a product price change, it needs to be changed. If you've added a new soup or sauce or something to the menu, you need to make sure that you've created that batch recipe and put it on the inventory guide, and that all the new products are on the inventory guide. Accurate shelf-to-sheet inventory, the way you see it on the shelves, the way you want it counted, and you make it easy. It also means that all invoices are in that day. So by the time I take my inventory, I count it, and then I want it into Smart Systems Pro. That's our online restaurant management solution that can handle the inventory for you. And boom, by Monday, 4 o'clock, it needs to be in there, and you need to bless that it's accurate, which means you've combed through it, found mistakes, corrected those mistakes, and you text message me that it's ready to go. That's far different from you need to take an inventory, right? It doesn't talk about accuracy. It doesn't talk about all the steps that need to be put in place before you get to even starting counting that stuff at end of a Sunday night. So if you want your managers to know what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when, it starts with listing out what their job responsibilities are, then adding the what, the when, and the how well. Now you're creating a job description that you can not only teach them what their job is, you can hold them accountable to it, and better yet, evaluate them. If you want your managers to not have a big ego, make sure you check it at the door by telling them what their responsibilities are and they don't make up their job. Now, Do you have any nightmare stories of hiring a chain manager or hiring or elevating a young employee to management and them just blowing up and being awful? Do me a favor, share that with me in the comments section below, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'm going to give you videos like this, these tips, if you will, on a weekly basis. But before you go, I'd love for you to opt in right now on the link below for my free report, the 10 lessons I've learned that any restaurant must know to have any chance of making money, get their life back, have managers know what their job is. This information can literally be life-changing. Step by step, all you got to do is download that right now. Again, subscribe to my channel and tune in when next video I'm going to teach you the importance of menu engineering to change your bottom line literally overnight. You ever find yourself getting frustrated that your professionals, your chef, your kitchen manager is telling you your food cost is high and there's nothing to do about it? Have you ever felt like, hey man, we're selling the wrong things and it's actually what my customers are buying that's killing my bottom line?